Central Takeover Hour on 107.5 The Game. Pearson, Preston, Wes, Chris here with you. Carolina, Vanderbilt, under the lights in Nashville. Have y'all ever been under the lights in Nashville? Preston, did you ever play a night game up there?
No, only the game is so nondescript. Maybe we played a night game there. Yeah, actually we did. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's not as if the atmosphere turns up.
Right. But I was wondering if it was actually worse because it's like nighttime and you're actually kind of
what
sleepy.
am I going to do? Am I going to go hit Broadway and hang out in Nashville, or am I going to go to this Vandy game?
I've been to a
Yeah?
night game at Vandy.
And
Yeah.
conclusion?
It's about what you said. Still pretty sleepy.
Yeah.
I went to I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or was it afternoon? Was it like a 4:00 game? No, I think
Was it the one Carolina lost in Nashville?
No.
Oh, okay,
No.
I was going to say, I was at that game.
It was the 2010 game, which was a bizarre game. Carolina won 21-7. That's the Torrey Gurley 14 catch game. Weird game. 21-7 win. I'm trying to find what time it was. I think it always rains there, or it's always dreary. Like they've never had a game in the sun. So I feel like there was at least some portion that was in the night. So it was either a 4 game or a 7 game.
I was at the night game that it actually was a good atmosphere for this one. That was when James Franklin was there, 2012. Lattimore makes his debut coming off the injury.
Oh, right.
Weird game. Such a weird game.
Didn't he fumble early in that game, Lattimore?
That sounds right. Jordan Rogers was the QB. South Carolina was up 10-0. Ugly game. I'm looking at the stats right now. Connor Shaw threw 11 passes. I think it was raining. No, it was definitely raining that day.
See?
Did Shaw get banged up for part of that game as well? Seems like he did.
Did anyone else attempt to pass?
Lattimore was the leading rusher and leading receiver with 3 catches for 21 yards.
What?
And
wow. Marcus Satterfield was the offensive coordinator that day.
In South Carolina, I remember a big throw late to Justice Cunningham is all I remember from that game.
Ooh, I remember that, where he got popped.
He got popped, helmet came off, he caught the ball,
yeah.
and then he was like, first down, beep, 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 like just goes off yelling. That was a weird game. Carolina was number 9 in the country.
Justin King from the great USC media team noted earlier today on social media that he had not covered a game against Vandy in which it did not rain. He gave a couple of the years, or a few of the years. So he has outfitted one of his cameras with an umbrella on top of it. It was hilarious.
Specifically for the Vanderbilt game?
Yes, just
awesome.
for Vandy. Because it's supposed to rain again.
Yeah. I don't have many memories of that specific Vanderbilt game, but my wife's favorite story, she went to Vanderbilt. I think she was in high school maybe. And her memory of the game was that there was a Ludacris concert after the game. And she said watching it with the student body of Vanderbilt was one of the weirdest experiences of her life, as you might imagine. I can't imagine. I mean, going to Nashville makes sense. I don't know if it was on Vanderbilt's campus. I can't imagine Ludacris was like, I want to play at Vandy.
They wrote him that. They stroked him that check. He was,
show
me where to sign up.
Yeah, it sounded like a very interesting experience. Anyway, so there are all of our Vandy memories. So, all right, guys, Carolina's got a lot they need to do to bounce back from last weekend's loss against Missouri. Marshawn Lloyd, I'm not expecting him to play. If he is playing, he's clearly not going to be 100%. The offense was putrid last week. You still don't have your best offensive player, but Vanderbilt is still bad. They are still Vanderbilt. Correct? Is that your assessment as well? That's been my takeaway from the week.
Yeah, I mean, they're always Vanderbilt.
Right. Except under James Franklin.
Yeah, had that little stretch there, but for the most part, they're always Vanderbilt. But what does that even mean? You know, I think that means South Carolina wins the game. I think it's 13 straight times, but there have been some very, very scary moments all laced through this series from a South Carolina standpoint. And, you you've had the games recently where South Carolina's actually, it seems like, has played them a little bit better in Nashville than they have in Columbia as of late. 2020 game, I think Kevin Harris ran all over them.
Yeah, he had an 80-yard touchdown in that game.
You know, I think 2018, I remember Javon Kinlaw just going off that day, and I think the Carolina offense probably had one of their more efficient games from what I remember. That was it was not even close at all. It was not a contest, and you've seen Vandy sort of keep it close in Columbia here lately. By all accounts, probably percentage wise should have won the game last year, and you just don't know. I feel like this is a Vandy team. You look, they're towards the bottom, both offensively and defensively, traditional stats wise. A little bit skewed because they've played a pretty darn tough schedule, but still, I think you look at that and you would think there's going to be some room on both sides for Carolina to have success. But then my one sort of big but here is if Lloyd can't go or Lloyd is very much limited, we've seen how much different Carolina's offense looks when one is in there versus when he's not. So you're going to have to find some answers to move the ball without Lloyd potentially if he is highly limited or can't go.
I would have put it out on Twitter if I knew this was going to be the episode of the Gamecock Central Hour when Wes talked about his big butt.
He said big butt.
Oh, man. Vanderbilt has found a little bit more consistency and rhythm offensively with A.J. Swan at quarterback compared to Mike Wright early in the season. So maybe some improvement there. But in terms of the stats, like none of them are particularly impressive. They are better offensively than defensively. Defensively, they're like very bad, not just bad in the SEC. I think Wilhelm said that their total defense was 107th in the country, according to the SP Plus. So, Chris, Carolina's offense is bad. Vanderbilt's defense is bad. What happens?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you got to look at, I think, I'm not saying that Vanderbilt's like a good quote unquote defensive team. Some of those statistics a little skewed, right? I mean, they played Alabama, Georgia, gave up 50 burgers, I think, to each of those. They played Ole Miss, played pretty well early, but ultimately they lost, I think, 52-28. So gave up a bunch of points to Ole Miss. Played pretty well against Missouri, which most teams have. South Carolina, they played a lot better against Missouri in the second half, but certainly had a poor showing to start with. So I think the key for South Carolina is, especially, you make a great point that I wanted to get to today about Lloyd, finding some answers if he's not in the game, when he's not even when healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have that big of a drop off and not have answers. And so I'll go back to Wes is probably already pre-rolling his eyes. You've got to play a more clean game. You can't turn the football over.
I was about to say, are we going to talk about turnovers?
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about it because, look, they've lost 3 conference games. In those games, they're -8 total in turnover margin. -3, -3, -2. They haven't forced a turnover in any of those games. Not only are they -8, they put up zeros in turnovers, and then they've turned it over way too much. And then, of course, even in the games that they've won, the conference games, they've been even.
They've lost those 3 conference games by 68 points, by the way.
Right. So that shows you this is not an offense that is equipped to go and turn the football over. Look at that Missouri Vanderbilt game. Why was that close? It was 17-0 Missouri at halftime. They didn't play great, but it was comfortable. Why did that game turn around? Well, at the end of the game, Missouri had turned the football over 4 times, and one of them was a fumble that was returned for a score by Vanderbilt.
Super athletic play.
It was.
They jumped over the whole offensive line.
Yeah, they got a couple linebackers who are very athletic. So that's the starting point, right? You have got to find a way to be able to win up front and establish some semblance of a running game somehow, whoever it is. Lloyd, if he can't go, it needs to be CBS, Juju, Jaheim Bell, quarterbacks, whoever you want. You got to be able to do that, and you got to be able to go down there and play a lot better. And we have not seen from this team yet that they can offensively go into a football game, and not turn it over And if the defense can't give you some other turnovers, it might be a very long day. It might be a very stressful day for South Carolina. So that's kind of my starting point for it.
Did y'all see that Marshawn had as many broken tackles in his 7 carries against Missouri as every other running back on the roster combined has had since the SC State game?
Yeah, we were just watching the beginning of the Missouri game here, and I think we saw the play where he got banged up.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably 4 of them. How many did he have? 4?
4.
I think they were
7
all
carries.
4 on those first 2
I
carries.
think that's I think that's an undercount, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He had 4 on one play at one point.
We just saw him.
It's just different when he's in there. And I will say this. I think for one, there was a time early in this year before Marshawn got kind of in rhythm and going and confidence level sky high. I thought he was leaving some plays on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they sort of made the concerted effort to say, look, we're going to give him the ball, we're going to get him in a rhythm and let him go play. There were questions there. So I do wonder how much of the lack of success with other backs is just, for one, straight up, the blocking. Like Juju, Chris was talking about how Juju's game so far this year, a lot of his limited carries have looked kind of like Marshawn's last year, where it's like he gets handed the ball and then he just gets nailed in the backfield. Mm-hmm. So obviously there is a drop off. I'm not saying there's not, and Marshawn Lloyd is the clear number 1, but I wonder what some of these other guys can do if they did have a game where it's like, all right, we're going to give you the ball, we're going to keep feeding you the ball, we're going to get you in rhythm, and we're going to do some things that more fits your skill set. I think there was kind of a disconnect there. Juju comes in, they're still, running him in between the tackles. I've wondered all year long just how close to 100% is Christian Beal Smith when he's dealt with a foot injury since the preseason. If you're a running back and you're having to cut, you're having to change direction, you have to put your foot in the ground and go, you're getting hit on your legs quite a bit. How much has that affected things? How much can a Rashad Amos or a Dante Miller, can one of these other guys, if given opportunities, make something happen?
Jaheim Bell, the elephant in the room there, is someone that I think will definitely see carries for the first time since I believe, regular carries basically for the first time since the opener. He's been used in short yardage situations, but this is really important. This is the kind of breakdown that I think will the success or failure of this game will hinge on. So we'll come back to this 803-404-6100. Want to hear from you guys, your thoughts, your predictions, and sort of today's open-ended question: what will constitute a good win, or what will suffice as a bounce back game? Does Carolina need to just win, get to bowl eligibility for the second year in a row? Do you need to see Carolina win by double digits? What are you looking for out of South Carolina tomorrow night in Nashville? Let us know. 803-404-6100 in the Love Chevy phone line or the text line. And you can get all of us on Twitter at Pearson Fowler, at Coach P Tweets, at Wes Mitchell, GC, at GC Chris Clark.
More of the Extra Point coming up next on 107.5 The Game.
This is Damon Amendolara with your CBS Sports Minute. If you're playing Kyrie Irving bingo at home, just to keep your scorecard up to date, he says he doesn't believe everything he sees, but once did claim the earth was flat because he had the real information and was asked a million times to say he's not anti-Semitic, and then only did so when he was suspended without pay. So, it's genuine. This is Damon Amendolara.
2000, 2008, 2022. When it comes to the economy, those are some scary years. .com crash, housing crash, and the roller coaster we're going through right now. It's a dangerous time to not know your numbers. But over 31,000 businesses have the confidence and clarity they need because they rely on NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, improve margins. Everything you need all in one place. So, how do you prepare for uncertain times? The answer, NetSuite. NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your business processes, and easily see where to save money. That's why 93% of customers say they improved their visibility and control when they upgraded to NetSuite. What are you waiting for? NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/play. netsuite.com/play.
This football season and every football season, come to campus and catch a game. Whatever the game, whoever you're with. just catch a game. Find your tickets online at GamecocksOnline.com.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
Football legend Emmitt Smith talking about all new regenerative treatments for joint pain from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics.
But did you know that you can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics?
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies that are natural, restorative, and long-lasting.
The body is an amazing thing. Trust me, I put mine through a lot.
Exciting new relief is here for pain from arthritis, knee pain, lower back pain, pain in your hips and shoulders.
I'm that guy. When you Google shoulder pain, my face pops up.
But you don't have to be sidelined by pain anymore. Call QC Kinetics to learn more about biologic therapies.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life.
Call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860. 803-281-6860.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online. Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
It's time for fall football in the South. Imagine watching the game from your stone paver patio, sitting around a cozy fire. Carolina Fresh Farms has everything you need to create the best outdoor space in the neighborhood. Natural stone, pavers, fire pits, outdoor fireplaces, and all the tools and supplies for your project. With 7 locations in South Carolina, visit their website at carolinafreshfarms.com to find the location nearest you. Carolina Fresh Farms, your landscaping supply specialists. Go Gamecocks!
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios, this is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
21 minutes after 11 o'clock on a football Friday, and welcome back into the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour here on 107.5 The Game. Pearson, Preston, Wes, Chris here with you, getting you ready for Carolina and Vanderbilt. We'll play some buy or sell a little bit later on in the hour to make some official predictions ahead of the game. Want to remind you to keep listening to 107.5 The Game all football season long for the Carolina Honda Powerhouse Gamecock ticket giveaway. Gamecocks on the road the next couple of weeks, but another home game after that, and Carolina Honda Powerhouse is going to give you an opportunity to win some tickets. And you can only win them by listening to 107.5 The Game. So keep doing that. So we've been talking about Carolina's running game. This is a run-first offense. And short of Marshawn Lloyd, who's been Carolina's clear-cut best rusher this season, Carolina has not found a lot of answers. Now, Wes, you talked about using Juju, let's just say the right way. We've talked about, CBS, his level of effectiveness based on injury. South Carolina has to find something in the running game. The only way that they have been effective on offense is running the football. This is not a game where Spencer Rattler is going to come out and throw for 450 and 5 touchdowns. That's just not in the game plan. That being said, Carolina's got to figure out how to spring the running game. We saw Carolina spring Juju a couple of times throughout the course of last season by using him in a pretty specific way, getting him in space, running him outside. You can't do that every time, obviously, but Marcus Satterfield was asked on Wednesday about running Juju between the tackles, and he was like, yeah, you can't really do that. Which, of course, begs the question, then why did you do that on Saturday? Which we didn't get that follow-up. But what do you see as the best way for South Carolina to establish a ground game on Saturday?
I mean, I'm looking at this game saying, for one, if it's not Lloyd, by sort of getting one of the other guys in there, whichever one you think's the best fit, and just saying, hey, we're gonna give you the ball and we're gonna let you get a rhythm. We're not gonna, I think when you're the second or third guy and you don't have a bunch of plays on offense, and it's like you get a play here, then the number one guy's back in, then there's another sub and it's the number 3 running back in. It's really, really hard to get anything going and finding a rhythm. And you're talking about such a small sample size that sometimes it can look bad. And I think, I look at Juju. This is a guy who there were times early on, Arkansas, Juju was really the guy that was kind of the only guy making things happen in the running game. So I think, he has shown he can do it. Christian Bill Smith at Wake Forest, now very different scheme, very different approach. Was a guy that 2 years in a row was one of their best runners and shared time, but was their leading rusher. So I think it's about finding a rhythm. Now I wonder, what is the weather going to play into this? Because in a vacuum with good weather, part of me is looking at this game saying they may actually have to come out and be more of a throw first team. This is not a Vanderbilt team that is incredibly strong up front. It's not one where you're going to look at it and say you have to protect your quarterback through play calling. In that, Missouri, if they knew you're throwing, Missouri's going to pin their ears back and beat you pretty much every single time up front. Vanderbilt, not that team, I don't think. So there may be a little more ability to just say, all right, we're going to throw to run against these guys. Vanderbilt last in the SEC in passing defense, giving up 317 yards per game. Actually, they're in 18. 67% completion percentage allowed. Like they are giving up yards through the air, and they've been down in games. So, you would think defensively, sometimes it gets skewed more towards you've given up a bunch of rushing yards because you're down and the other team is just salting the game away. They've gotten the ball thrown all over them. So this may be a game. If Carolina's playing anybody else, I'd be saying, look, man, if they can't run the ball, it's going to be a long day. This may be the game where you just say, you know what, this isn't really what we do, but for this week, this is what we have to be, and you have to go throw the ball around a little bit more.
Yeah, I was just going back to the question. I guess I'm questioning the premise of the statement that you can't run Juju in between the tackles, because I don't know. Are we saying that based on his stature? Is that the only reason why we're saying that?
I think so. And I want to clarify. Satterfield basically said you can't run him in between the tackles over and over throughout the course of a game.
Fair.
Like, I think that's a different statement than he can't do it.
Fair.
Like,
Right.
I think you're going to, if he's in the game, you're going to have to run him between the tackles some.
I think all 5 of his carries against Missouri were inside zone, they look like.
No, I think that's a fair statement, and that's why I was the need the clarification on that. But also, it sort of presents as maybe this guy can't run in between the tackles because we're not blocking in between the tackles. And it's tough when you're relying on, and I would need the analytics, but it's tough when you're relying on your running back to make the first guy miss behind the backfield, make something out of nothing, or break tackles. And so, yeah, you probably can't run him over and over again, but I do think if you block effectively, any stature of running back can run wherever they need to.
Right. So I'm trying to pull up the number right now because I know Carolina is towards the bottom of the SEC in yards before contact, which would be, I mean, Marshawn Lloyd has been fantastic because he's good and also because he can make guys miss. For most of the season, he's pretty consistently been towards the top of the list in terms of percentage and percentage of broken tackles and total broken tackles. I'm looking for the play right now, or the stat. I'll try to find it in just a minute. But Carolina is towards the bottom of the SEC in yards before contact. That's just, you're not going to ask like a 5'6", 160-pound guy to be breaking tackles from defensive ends. But you also can't just run like toss sweep every single time Juju's out there, or they're gonna know what's coming. Like, you have to keep them honest. But it feels like Carolina's left with sort of specialist backs. They don't have someone that can do everything on any given play like Marshawn.
And they have not blocked that outside zone. Like, they have tried to mix it in, and it feels like either it gets overloaded to the front side where they're trying to run it, or it gets chased down from the backside. I don't know schematically why that is, but when they have tried to mix that in, it just feels like it has not been very successful at all.
Let me make a bigger picture point, because it's our job and it's fun and necessary to dive into all the micro things week to week. But there's kind of like some trends. So like, I know that 2020, for example, South Carolina was very feast or famine running the football, but 3 of their 5 starters on the offensive line this year were on that team, started games for that team. Hutch isn't on the team. Jackson Turnatine plays for Florida State now, but the other guys are a year older, and they've got some other talented guys. They do, miss Kevin Harris. He was a very good back, but so is Lloyd. Christian Beal-Smith, as Wes pointed out, was a leading rusher at Wake and did some really good things during his career. They have some other guys with talent. Juice Wells was a record setter in just 2 seasons on the field at James Madison. Spencer Rattler put up huge numbers. They have guys, we could go on, and yet they have these metrics that are not very good offensively. They've scored enough points in some games, and we've gone through how they've had help. So we're constantly diving into, why did this play not hit, or why are these plays not hitting, or why can't they do this? And really, I think what it comes down to is just kind of speaks to the fact that the offense in general has not been good enough, has not maximized the players. We can try to dive into why that is, but I think one of the things, when you weren't here yesterday, guys, we were talking about, I brought up a Lincoln Riley quote. And I know we're talking about run game, but Lincoln Riley said, and he was quoting somebody else, if your system isn't quarterback friendly, you got to find a new system. And so Spencer, that might be the answer for why Oklahoma had tons of talent in 2020, even more than South Carolina has, but why did he have that huge season then and not as much now? Why is he making mistakes? Like we dove in the other day. Why is Spencer Rattler and this football team turning the ball over so much? So it seems like all these things that we're talking about, it's more of a feature than a bug or a bunch of bugs. Like it just kind of is what it is right now.
Well, yeah, that's exactly the point. And I think Coach Satterfield was saying that. I think he was trying to spin it another way, saying, well, sometimes it's a block here or a call here or well, that just means it's a bad offense. Because, if you have a car that, sometimes it's the brakes, and then sometimes it's the transmission, and then sometimes it's just a dud of a car. It has to all be working at the same time in order for it to be. So in order to, if you can't point out if something is not working, then the whole thing isn't working. When you see quality offenses, they're working on one accord.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's been, I won't say 2 years. I'll just say it's been 10 weeks of now the snake eating its own tail. Where we're like, oh, the offensive system isn't bad. And then like 10 weeks of specifics, and this isn't working, and this isn't working, and this isn't working. And now we've like reached enlightenment. We've been sitting under the tree meditating for 10 weeks, and now we've arrived at, hey, the offensive system was just as bad as everybody thought it was. Probably not a comforting place to be if you're a Carolina fan, but I think y'all are exactly right. I have the stats, by the way. Rush yards after contact, rush yards before contact. We'll keep talking about this. This is a matchup.
Is it brutal?
It is interesting. I will say it's interesting. I'll have that for you. 803-404-6100. Josh, not Heupel, the other one, has texted me. He wants me to give away some women's basketball tickets. South Carolina's home opener is on Saturday. If anybody wants to go, not you three, sorry. If anybody else wants to go, which you should, probably be a tough ticket to get. The women start their national championship defense at the Colonial Life Arena Monday. And if you want to go, I'll give you a pair of tickets right now. All you have to do is call number 5. Nope. Caller number 6. Caller number 6, 803-404-6100. I'll give you a pair of tickets to go see the South Carolina women's opener on Monday. 803-404-6100. Good luck.
More of the Extra Point coming up next on 107.5 The Game.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Don't go into retirement unprepared. Listen each Sunday morning at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered through Kalos Capital Incorporated.
You're invited to our Sweet Bids auction coming to this station's website beginning November 10th. It's Black Friday before Black Friday. In fact, it begins on a Thursday. And you won't even have to move from your spot. Your chance to bid on great products and services at a discount from fine businesses like Elite Lawn and Landscape, Carolyn's Flowers and Gifts, Sugar Creek Amish Furniture, Kiki's Chicken and Waffles, and more. Our Sweet Bids auction begins November 10th at our station website, where it's a short drive on your hard drive with no parking issues.
The wait is over. New Chevys are on the lot now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. These vehicles are in demand and selling fast, so don't miss out. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Offer not valid in all states or were prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Wait. Tell me, where'd you get that money?
Oh, this? Oh, man. All this money came from 43money.com right online.
Are you saying you went to 43money.com and got all that money you needed fast?
Man, you know it. I went to 43money.com yesterday and bam, $5,000 was in my account today. Straight up.
Now, hold on. 43money.com helped you get $5,000 like that?
Yeah, man, that's right. 43money.com's lenders provide personal loans for up to $5,000 for people like you and me, even if you don't have good credit.
Man, I'm always short on cash. Can 43money.com help me get the money I need fast?
If you need extra money fast, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 43money.com and you can get the loan you need now. Regardless of your credit, go to 43money.com to get the money you need fast. Type www.43money.com directly into the address bar. That's 43money.com. Again, 43money.com. 43money.com.
Welcome your guest into a clean, healthy home this Thanksgiving by calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Their patented no residue cleaning system gets your carpets, rugs, and upholstery insanely clean. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero, spell it backwards or forwards is the right way to clean.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FULL for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code FULL. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FULL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FULL.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Pearson, Preston, Chris, Wes here with you, talking Carolina Vanderbilt. Still to come, we have some buy or sell. I really want to get your thoughts on Georgia and Tennessee, the game of the weekend. Got to talk about a few more matchups with South Carolina and Vanderbilt as well. But first, before we get to any of that, Chris Clark, the one and only, who's been in there breaking down film with Preston. The Missouri game's on TV, unfortunately, right now for you guys, but it seems like it's been helpful. Anyway, you told me you wanted to tell everybody about integrated media and why they're the best.
Of course, during the break, I always want to talk about integrated media. They have been to my home multiple times for a lot of projects. Make sure that you get them out. Lots of college football action going on. We are still in the midst of an outstanding streak of having football on like every day. Last night, great game, Coastal Carolina, App State. That was another good one. World Series going on. But make sure you can catch up on all the college football action and just sports in general. The best possible setup. You can be the envy of your neighborhood. They set up my neighbor recently with us a TV setup on his back porch. And I'm like, man, I really need to get that. Need to get Michael and Nathan and the guys back out at the house to get that set up. But not only can they help you with your equipment, making sure you have all your devices in the best spots for maximum viewing pleasure, but also that your internet signal's strong enough, no buffering, make sure all your devices can handle all the action. You got the kids wanting to play video games and watch YouTube and things like that while you're checking out 4 or 5 different sporting events on a Saturday. That can bog your internet down. So make sure that you get the guys at Integrated Media out to maximize your setup. Their phone number is 803-948-8327, or you can check out what they can do for you at integratedmediainc.com.
So y'all want to do the good news first or the bad news first?
Always bad news first.
I
Always
agree with
bad
that.
news?
This is a litmus test.
It's pretty universal. Are you good news first?
I don't know.
So you asked me earlier if I wanted the story or the picture.
Yeah.
And I went story. And I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Would you have done story or picture?
I would have went story first.
Okay. Yeah. It's good to get set up. All right, we'll go bad first. We're talking about Carolina. What do they need to do to establish the run potentially without Marshawn Lloyd tomorrow in Nashville? And even if he is playing, not 100%. So what do they need to do? Well, rushing yards before contact in the SEC. Do you guys want to take a guess who the second worst team in the entire conference is at 1.5 yards, rushing yards before contact?
Well, I feel like the obvious is South Carolina, but you might be setting us up, so I'm going to go Vanderbilt.
It's Kentucky, actually. No, but South Carolina is, in fact, dead last. 1.3 rushing yards before contact.
Where is Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt's in the middle. They're 2.23. They're in the yellow category, according to SEC StatCat.
Look at them go.
Yeah,
I think that's a very intriguing matchup, considering I think you gave the statistic that South Carolina's defense is on the back half and Vandy's in the middle. That could be a matchup that I would not have anticipated.
More rush yards before contact allowed from South Carolina's defense than any other team in the conference. So not great. Let's do the good news. Do you want to guess who the third highest rush yards after contact is in the SEC this year?
South Carolina?
It's LSU. 3.17. South Carolina is number 1 in the SEC at rush yards after contact. 3.37 yards after contact.
But is that good or bad?
This is how you read that stat. Marshawn Lloyd is number 1.
That's what I was going to say.
It's in the thing. And South Carolina is...
And Marcus Satterfield is last.
Yes. I really, honestly, and I'm joking, kind of. But the other one is a team stat because we've all missed these blocks. And this one is an individual stat because he made them get yards after that. So that's a really interesting... I think we need to end the show because I don't like the way these statistics are trending.
Give me the stat one more time, the yardage.
Rush yards after contact.
After contact. Yeah. What's the number?
3.37.
PFF has Marshawn Lloyd for the season 4.32 yards after contact.
Whoa, that makes sense because everyone else after contact rushing average would be bringing that down.
I suppose.
Right?
Now, there could be some discrepancies of how it's measured and all those things, but that just
generally that's helpful.
I do think the contact. I remember. So I think it was who did Arkansas play last weekend?
Auburn.
Yes. Clark Brooks of SEC StatCat was. Yeah, thank you, Wes. He was charting that game live, and he was trying to decide if a long Rocket Sanders run, like how many of the yards, or no, it was Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was Ashford. It was a long run. How many yards after contact? And Bumper Pool like dove at him and like flicked his towel. And it was like after contact. So yeah, there is some subjectivity in how you describe those things. But regardless, that same subjectivity applies to every SEC team and every rusher. So point is, Marshawn is a beast. Carolina not having him is a huge blow. And we'll see tomorrow, or potentially not having him. Well, okay? Will you be more surprised to see Marshawn Lloyd get a carry tomorrow, or to see, I'll just say Luke Doty throw a pass? I was going to say Colton Gauthier, but I don't need to be ridiculous. So will you be more surprised to see Marshawn Lloyd get a carry or Luke Doty attempt to pass tomorrow?
I mean, I would still be. Dadgummit, Pearson. Your questions. I would still be more surprised, I guess, to see Luke throw a pass.
Okay.
However, I think, I mean, this thing's definitely trending more towards the bad side with Lloyd. The only thing that maybe gives me a little pause is that I feel like Lloyd is the guy that's going to wake up. He's going to go to the stadium and he's going to try to get that thing loose and maybe try to convince somebody to, that he's good to go.
Have y'all seen Grindhouse? It's
No.
the Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino double feature. It's got Escape from Planet Terror and Death Proof.
I actually have, but I don't remember anything about it.
So Escape from Planet Terror, there's like a stripper with a wooden leg, but she takes it off and replaces it with a machine gun. It's completely ridiculous. I can see Marshawn Lloyd doing something like that. He seems like the kind of person that'll chop off his non-functioning leg and replace it with a machine gun.
If there was somebody who would, it would be him. But like I said, boy, if I was playing defense, I couldn't wait to just gently place my face mask right on his thigh,
Lovingly.
Just sort of needle it in there a little bit.
Just nuzzle it.
Just nuzzle that thigh. So,
They fly to Nashville, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Has the team playing left?
I would assume so.
Okay. So we know whether or not
Or they're
Marshawn Lloyd was
close.
on the flight.
Yeah, he's
Well,
going. He'll travel.
Okay.
This is 100% speculation. I said that so confidently, and I don't know at all. But
I believed you 100%.
I know. yeah, of course.
Like I saw him.
I'm assuming he's traveling, but that doesn't matter.
I just assume when the coaching staff says someone's playing that he's questionable, and if they say he's questionable, he's probably out for the season. That's typically been and not just specific to Shane Beamer. That's just college football now. So I'm trying to read between the lines. But Wes has officially logged a prediction of more surprised to see Luke throw a pass, which is probably bad news for everybody because I want to see Luke in there. Anyway, all right, we'll talk more about this game in the form of some buy or sell. On the other side, I want to get your thoughts on Georgia and Tennessee. We'll have to blow through this. There's just never enough time on a Friday, but we'll get through it as quickly as we can.
The Halftime Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford. Noon to 3 on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Game day, game day, game day. Be ready for game day with the monsters of the Mellow Mushroom Gridiron. Get to the line of shroomage. Take the snap and order all your Mellow favorites, like fresh mouth-watering spring water dough pizza baked on the stone, monumental hoagies, hot pretzels, wings, meatballs, fresh crisp salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Dine in, order online, or call ahead for takeout. Then head to the game or the sofa. The Mellow Mushroom. In the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Attention. Did you or a loved one live at or near Marine Base Camp Lejeune in North Carolina between 1953 and 1987? If so, listen closely for this important legal announcement. From 1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case. Call 1-800-700-4333. That's 1-800-700-4333. 1-800-700-4333.
Offer not valid in all states or were prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Wait. Tell me, where'd you get that money?
Oh, this? Oh, man. All this money came from 43money.com right online.
Are you saying you went to 43money.com and got all that money you needed fast?
Man, you know it. I went to 43money.com yesterday and bam, $5,000 was in my account today. straight up.
Now hold on. 43money.com helped you get $5K like that?
Yeah, man, that's right. 43money.com's lenders provide personal loans for up to $5,000 for people like you and me, even if you don't have good credit.
Man, I'm always short on cash. Can 43money.com help me get the money I need fast?
If you need extra money fast, go to 43money.com. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 43money.com and you can get the loan you need now. Regardless of your credit, go to 43money.com to get the money you need fast. Type www.43money.com directly into the address bar. That's 43money.com. Again, 43money.com. 43money.com.
Pulliam Restoration means business. Worried about the well-being of your property? Partner with Pulliam Restoration, Columbia's largest and most well-known mitigation company. Flood, fire, mold, we have it covered. If you're a property manager or owner, call Pulliam Restoration for all your mitigation needs. At Pulliam Restoration, we have the guaranteed fastest response time and pride ourselves on getting to you in minutes, not hours. An emergency to you is an emergency to us. It's your choice. Choose Pulliam Restoration at Pulliam247.com or give us a call at 803-PULLIAM.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Last segment for the week here. It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Pearson, Preston, West, Chris here with you. Final thoughts on Carolina and Vanderbilt. For those of you tuning in on 107.5 The Game, don't forget our coverage begins at 2:30 for a 7:30 kickoff tomorrow. So coverage all day long tomorrow on 107.5 The Game. We'll have some buy or sell in just a minute to get a few final thoughts on that. And a couple other games that I do want to talk about. West, you mentioned you're going to incorporate some of the other big games this season, this weekend into our buy or sell segment. I mean, truly two of the bigger games this season, potentially. Real quick, though, a text from a Clemson fan who calls himself Wayne, who says if the weather is bad, you also might not expect to see Lloyd. A surprisingly rational point made from someone associating himself willingly with Clemson University. But also, in all seriousness, probably a consideration for the coaching staff.
I don't know, man. This is close to, I won't say do or die or any of those other cliches, but this is pretty important. I don't know, unless it's a obvious. Oh, that might have been the play you got hurt right there. Sorry. Unless it's a safety type of thing, it's not. I don't know what we're saving them for.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm saying.
This is your most winnable game. This is your chance to get.
This is the one where you're probably going to try and win. Obviously, you're not going to put them in harm unnecessarily, but I don't know if that's going to be the determining factor.
Yeah. Wes, I know you and Chris are objective and have no biases, and you're just the perfect objective journalist here. But you have to commit. Do you want Tennessee to beat Georgia tomorrow? I know you're not allowed to have rooting interests. No one else is listening. You can just tell me. It's a secret.
All right, don't tell anybody. Yes, I want Tennessee to win.
Really?
Chris?
I didn't anticipate this. No.
Oh, Wes, high five through the glass. I feel Silver Fox even hit me on Twitter, says wanting Tennessee football to get the win. Very interesting. Said you're a brave man being on a Gamecock radio station speaking those foul words. I want it to happen so badly, and I cannot believe that Tennessee is getting more than a touchdown in this game. Georgia's an 8-point favorite, and Tennessee's the number one team in the country.
Let me give my explanation as to why.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, I want every SEC team to win, right? Like if they play even an ACC team or if they're playing a big team, whatever, I want the SEC to rule. And I get that point. In general, you want your conference to be in good standing. You want your team to be able to recruit to that conference and have that be something good. But my theory is you want as many SEC teams as possible to be as bad as possible because you're trying to make a move. So Georgia is always going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Always like when they win 8 games, heck, when they win 10 games, that's a bad year.
Yeah.
And they're always good. There's nothing you can do to stop that train. Tennessee, on the other hand, has been pretty terrible at times in the last, whatever.
Most of my
10,
life.
15 years. Yeah, most of your life. There you go. You're only like 18, but still.
Yeah.
But they, they have been pretty bad. They used to be great. They're not. Pretty bad. for a while. So Georgia's always going to be good. You don't want Tennessee up in that echelon as well if you're South Carolina.
I get that. Counterpoint, is Tennessee not good if they lose to Georgia on Saturday?
Not at all.
They're
But
still,
you don't want them to go win a national title.
Yeah, I guess. So.
Which
I mean, I don't want that like in my heart of hearts because I don't have any love for Tennessee, but it's just, I guess it's been fun to watch something new and different happen maybe a little bit this year. Wes dinged me with his brain over there. I don't know. And also I'm on the record. I hate, as someone that grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, I hate Georgia more than Clemson, more than like the only sports team I hate more than Georgia is probably El Tri, the Mexican national soccer team. That's probably it. So there we go. Wes, you want to blow through some buy or sell?
Yeah, let's do it. This is brought to you by our good friend Kendall Walsh of the Moore Company, 803-414-3590. Workwithwalsh@gmail.com, @workwithwalsh on Twitter. Again, give her a call, 803-414-3590. No obligation, free call. She can help walk you through this process, let you know everything you need to know about buying or selling your home. We're going to implement some of these other games in this. So let's actually start right there. Georgia beats Tennessee, buy or sell, by more than 8 points. And or if anybody's going to say, if you're selling, you got to give your bonus of whether or not Tennessee can beat them straight up. Preston, you're up first.
I'm with Chris. I do not want to see Tennessee prosper in any shape, form, or fashion. Give me Georgia. Buy Georgia. Buying.
Mm-hmm. Chris Clark.
Okay, so you're buying Georgia by more than 8 then?
Yes.
Okay, I'll sell, but I have Georgia winning.
Okay, sell, but Georgia wins. Pearson, you're selling, but is Georgia winning the game?
No, I think Tennessee's a better football team right now, top to bottom. Especially Georgia just lost one of their leader in sacks, 7 tackles for loss in Nolan Smith. Yeah. For a team that, quite frankly, hasn't gotten after the quarterback as much as you expect from Georgia, I think that's going to be a big deal.
So you're selling?
Yeah.
And
I think Tennessee will win outright.
Okay. I'm selling. I'm strangely finding myself agreeing with Pearson today. I got Tennessee winning. All right, buy or sell. Notre Dame will upset the Clemson Tigers this week. Anybody willing to buy that?
Me.
Pearson is buying. Why?
Just trying to be on brand today.
I was going to say that's a harder head pick. That's a heart pick.
Yeah. Well, you can make the case Notre Dame's played better offenses than Clemson and had really good results. They should be good enough to keep it close. It's in South Bend. They're going to give themselves every opportunity in a close game to win at home. I can do that thing, but really, I just don't want to pick Clemson.
I will sell. I have Clemson winning.
Sell to the bad guys.
I'm selling as well. Every time I think, well, maybe this is when Clemson gets knocked off.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
I picked Clemson one time this year to cover the spread, and they won the damn game and didn't cover. It's like just off. The worst case scenario. What else you got?
All right. Getting into South Carolina versus Vandy. South Carolina will have a 100-yard rusher in this game.
Didn't even get through the entire question.
How many times can I sell that? Can I buy 15 stocks of? Can I sell 15 stocks of Carolina have a 100-yard rusher? I don't know if they have a 10-yard rusher on Saturday.
I'm putting you down as SSSSSS.
Yes, thank you.
Sell.
I got to sell it too.
Well, all right, guys.
Okay, can I do one?
I'll buy it then. I'm buying
there
this.
You go. Just be different.
Yeah, Christian Bill Smith goes off. Here we go. What you got, Pearson?
Buy or sell, Jaheim Bell will have 100 all-purpose yards on Saturday.
I will buy that.
We're all going to buy.
I have to buy.
I have to sell.
I'll sell.
It would kind of be funny if they just targeted Jaheim Bell on every
single
play.
They probably will, just so Shane Beamer after the game can be like, "We told you. Like, why didn't you guys believe us?" It's like, well, why did it take until week 11 or week 10 or whatever?
He did go off on Vandy last year.
Yeah, like $150, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, yeah, South Carolina beats Vandy by. You know what? I'm changing the line. The line is like 7 right now.
Yeah.
I think we got to change it. South Carolina beats Vandy by more than 3. Buy or sell.
I'll buy that. I submitted my prediction to Colin yesterday before I found out that Marshawn Loeb was out for the season, possibly. He's not. But I changed my score prediction to 14-3. So there you go. That's more than 3.
All right, I'm buying.
Bye.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it.
I'm trying to make sure I can remember the prediction I sent in to Colin because I think I literally picked a 3-point game.
Okay, so you sell.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, as I've said, this is firmly win is a win season. So 3 points it is. That's what it'll be.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about on Monday. That's all we have time for. That's buy or sell. That's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. That's a week of football talk right there. Appreciate you guys as always. It's been a fun week. Been a fun show. We'll talk to you again on Monday. Halftime show's next.